another edition of Too Good for Drugs, 7th grade. In our last lesson, we learned about tobacco products and the harmful effects of nicotine use. Today, we're going to talk about a drug in which many people have false expectations. I'll give you a hint. It is legal for adults 21 years or older to use. And the drug I'm talking about today is alcohol. Now, people choose to drink alcohol because they have expectations of what it'll do for them. And a lot of people think these expectations are, a lot of teens think that alcohol will make them more relaxed, make them more social, happy, even attractive. But it doesn't, it does actually the opposite effect. Alcohol can make you sick. It can, you can become addicted because it is a drug. You can feel embarrassed about something you did the night previous. You can be forgetful, and you can make regrettable decisions. Now, being forgetful, sick, and embarrassed doesn't sound so fun, does it? It doesn't. Now, the messages promoting alcohol are designed to convince us that drinking is fun and everybody does it. Now, these messages don't tell us that alcohol is a drug, and the messages rarely explain the harmful effects of alcohol on the brain and the body. Now, so what are these harmful effects? So I want everybody to turn to page 18, and we're going to do a quick experiment underneath reality check. Now, you're going to answer these 4 questions, all right? But here's the trick. Each question you answer, I want you to write with the opposite hand you normally write with. We're going to show you what happens, how alcohol can affect your motor skills. So if you're right-handed, write with your left-handed. Write with your left hand, excuse me. Now if you're left-handed, you write with your right hand, all right? So try this at home. So the first question is, name a product that contains alcohol. And those 3 products are beer, wine, and liquor. So try to write that with your opposite hand. Now, number 2, what is the legal drinking age in the United States? The legal drinking age in the United States is 21 years old, all right? And number 3, why is it harmful to drink alcohol underage? Now, I know you have a little space on number 3, but try your best to fit it in. And the answer is drinking alcohol affects judgment and reaction time, and alcohol delays or stops healthy brain development. And number 4, which alcoholic beverage contains more alcohol per serving? Beer, wine, or liquor? And the answer is they all contain the same amount of alcohol per serving. Now, the more a person drinks, the more their abilities are affected. 1 12-ounce beer has the same amount of alcohol as a 5-ounce glass of wine or a 1.5-ounce shot of liquor. Alcohol is alcohol, and all alcohol affects the brain and body. Now, I want you all to look at the bottom of page 18 in the section titled Alcohol Effects on Brain Function. And we're going to go over each part of the brain that alcohol affects. The first part is prefrontal cortex. Now, prefrontal cortex controls executive functions including judgment, social control, decision making, emotions, and senses. And alcohol use can impair the abilities to think clearly and lower inhibitions. Next, we have the hypothalamus. Now, hypothalamus controls heart rate, and alcohol use can slow down the heart rate because it's the depressant drug. Next, we have the hippocampus. The hippocampus controls memory, and alcohol use can cause memory loss and blackouts. And alcohol use can interfere with the ability to learn. Next, we have the medulla oblongata, and that controls breathing and maintains body temperature. And alcohol use depresses respiratory function, and binge drinking can shut down the medulla and lead to a coma. And last but not least, we have the cerebellum, and that coordinates movement, and alcohol use can slow down the reflexes that cause loss of balance. Now, we're going to meet someone who will help us continue our reality check. His name is Al Cahill. Now, Al is a typical teen and who loves to play baseball and hopes to one day play for a major league team. So let's tag along with Al Cahill as he arrives at a friend's house for his first dance party. Now, Al is excited. He's wearing his coolest outfit, a trendy pair of sneakers, and of course, sunglasses. He's even learned a new dance move, so he's sure to impress Emily on the dance floor. However, at the party, when he sees Emily, he gets nervous and suddenly loses the courage to dance. While hanging out with friends, Al hears a rumor that someone brought alcohol to the party. He really doesn't want to drink because he has baseball tryouts the next morning. However, he figures a beer or two might help him loosen up. After all, Al's seen lots of movies where people appear more carefree after drinking. No big deal. But unfortunately, Al doesn't recognize how much his decision-making has been influenced by the fun and carefree images he has seen in movies. And he doesn't get the reality that most teens don't drink because they know alcohol can harm their brain and bodies. So I want everybody to look on page 19 in the section titled Life of the Party. The story continues with Al making decisions about alcohol. Read the rest of the story and identify the short-term consequences of drinking alcohol that Al experiences. Fill in the blanks with the correct alcohol-related consequence from the word bank at the top of the page. Pay attention to the context clues, all right? And when you finish, we read the story together and see who got all of them correct, all right? So let's go over them, okay? Now, Al grabs a few beers and chugs them down as fast as he can. It takes the body's liver about an hour to process one drink. Now, drinking a lot of alcohol in a short period of time is called binge drinking. And processing too many drinks in a short amount of time can overload the liver. Now, Al could die from alcohol poisoning if he drinks too much. By now, Al thinks that he's the life of the party. Al keeps telling the same lame jokes over and over, but nobody understands him because he has slurred speech. Now, because alcohol impairs judgment, drunk people think they're funny and clever even if they are not. Al gives up on jokes and tries to dance, but the girls run the other way. It's no fun to dance with someone who steps on your feet and leans on you for support. Alcohol use can cause people to lose their motor skills. And the more Al drinks, the more attractive he thinks he is. But the girls don't agree. Al's breath is starting to reek and he really could use some deodorant. Drinking alcohol causes bad breath and body odor. And when he gets home, he won't be able to fool his parents. They'll know what he's been up to just by smelling him and looking at his red, bloodshot eyes. Now, it doesn't take long before Al's body starting to signal that it can't take drinking no more. He has to go to the bathroom a lot because alcohol causes frequent urination. And even worse, drinking a lot of alcohol can cause people to vomit. Now, because alcohol is toxic to the body, and throwing up is the body's way of getting rid of the alcohol. Now, after a while, Al starts to feel dizzy, and he's worried that he might throw up all over his new shoes. He even may vomit on the girl he likes. What a mess. Now, Al was looking forward to the party all week, but tomorrow he probably won't remember any of it. Alcohol interferes with the brain's ability to form short-term memories. Now, alcohol is a depressant drug that slows the heart rate and slows down breathing, reducing oxygen flow to the brain, and Al could pass out. Now, this is a side question that's not on page 19. Now, what do you think Al should do? What do you think Al's friends should do if he passes out? They should immediately call 911 and try to get help from an adult. Because Al could die if his central nervous system becomes too depressed. Now let's continue on with the story. When Al rolls out of bed the morning after the party, he'll probably have a throbbing headache or a drum-like pounding on his head. He may feel dizzy and not crave his mom banana pancakes because of an upset stomach and diarrhea. Now there's also a good chance that Al will be very thirsty and his mouth may feel very dry because alcohol dehydrates the body, and chances are he's not going to baseball tryouts. But let's say he did go to baseball tryouts through everything he's went through with alcohol. How do you think he would do? He'd probably do terrible, right? And not make the baseball team. Now, Al didn't plan to drink at the party when he got there. He also didn't plan to experience these negative consequences. When Al lost the nerve to dance, he thought that alcohol would help him loosen up. But where did he get that from? He got that from the movies. And just because something's portrayed in a movie or on TV doesn't mean it's the right or good idea. Now, if Al would have considered his goals and he really cared about baseball, then he would have been drunk at the party. So the good news is that most teams don't drink, and you won't be alone when you make the right choice. So in our next lesson, we'll discuss another drug from which people have false expectations.